I'm not terribly interested in discussions about the wage gap or transgender pronoun preference, but I watched Jordan Peterson's discussion with Channel 4's chief interrogator, Cathy Newman, just because everyone was sharing it and posting commentary. If you haven't seen the video, in comic book terms, it would be like Superman taking on Squirrel Girl.
So you're saying that women are basically squirrels?
No, I'm saying that the discussion between Jordan Peterson and Cathy Newman was as lopsided as a hypothetical fight between the comic book characters Superman and Squirrel Girl, the latter of whose powers include the ability to chew through wood and the ability to communicate with squirrels.
So you're saying that all female comic book characters chew through wood?
There's no real need to summarize the interview since it's only half an hour long and a bunch of other channels have posted videos about it. Although I will say that Cathy Newman trying to understand the claims of clinical psychologist Jordan Peterson was eerily reminiscent of Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia trying to understand the claims of a nameless therapist played by Carrie Kenny Silver.
But if you leave men and women to make their own choices, you will not get equal outcomes.
Right, so you're saying that anyone who believes in equality, whether you call them feminists, call them whatever you want to call them, should basically give up because it ain't going to happen.
Being comfortable in your own skin is never a bad thing.
Okay, so if I got, more skin or something, then I could, never do a bad thing in my life. And maybe I never have done a bad thing because I have a lot of skin.
That's not what I'm saying.
I do. I think that's silly. I really do. There's this idea that hierarchical structures are a sociological construct of the Western patriarchy. And that is so untrue that it's almost unbelievable. And I use the lobster as an
Let me just
example.
get this straight. You're saying that we should organize our societies along the lines of the lobsters.
Given your non-traditional life choices, you are surprisingly well adjusted.
Yeah, I'm well adjusted, because of my lack of traditions. And I'll adjust to that.
And so does high negative emotion.
You're saying that women aren't intelligent enough to run these top companies?
No, I didn't say that at all.
You said that female traits don't predict success.
But I didn't say that intelligence wasn't. I
conscientiousness
didn't say that
do.
intelligence and conscientiousness
Well, you were saying that
weren't
intelligence
female
and
traits.
conscientiousness by implication are not female traits.
No.
I mean,
I'm not
that's very
saying that.
dangerous territory.
I'm not saying that at all.
I feel like you're mirroring my words, but you're not exactly understanding them.
I didn't say that women shouldn't be striving for the top or anything like that, because I don't believe that for a second.
Striving for the top, but you're going to put all those hurdles in their way, as has been in their way for centuries, and that's fine. You're saying that's fine.
No, I really
The
think
patriarchal
I
system
really
is
think
just
that's
fine.
silly.
You're saying, do the things you do, go even further with them, Maybe get a ton of cat hair, glue it all over your body, walk around like a cat man in the night.
I might as well just go and play with my Cindy dolls and
didn't
give up
say
trying
that.
at school because I'm not going to get the top job I want.
And stop hiding the pigeon.
The pigeon.
This one, let him be who he wants. Let him fly away. Go!
Ha, gotcha.
Even though I don't usually follow the topics that were addressed by Peterson and Newman, the video contains some important lessons that apply to all of us. So here are 3 lessons that everyone can learn from the Peterson interview, even if you normally follow different kinds of discussions. Lesson number 1. When people who despise you try to explain what you say, they're probably not going to get it right. This is something that I have to deal with on a daily basis because I like to discuss Islam. Terrorism has nothing to do with Islam. Actually, the Quran commands its adherents to fight those who do not believe in Allah, and Muhammad said that he had been made victorious with terror. So you're saying that all Muslims are terrorists? Didn't say it. I've never even thought it. I simply made a factual statement about what Muslim sources claim. So you're saying that we should nuke Mecca? Do you understand words?
Charlie?
There are a few different reasons someone might misrepresent what you say. One, the person might just be stupid, and I don't mean low IQ. You can be smart in one area and stupid in another area. There are people who are great at reading comprehension, but you can show them how to add fractions 25 times and they still don't get it. When I read analytic philosophy, I understand it perfectly. Every word makes sense. When I read continental philosophy, I don't understand anything, not a single sentence. This causes me to suspect that continental philosophers aren't really saying anything. But it's also possible that I'm just not good at understanding what they're saying. So if I were to listen to a presentation by a continental philosopher and I were then to try to explain what he had said, I'd probably get everything wrong. I'm just stupid in that area, assuming that they're actually saying something, which they're not. 2, a person who misrepresents what you say might be doing so deliberately. He understands every word you say, but he doesn't want other people to understand what you say, so he intentionally distorts your message to hurt your reputation. He deceives his listeners. 3, someone who misrepresents what you say may be so incredibly biased against you that when you speak, he hears you saying something that you're not really saying. He's not stupid, and he's not deliberately distorting what you say. Instead, he's so convinced at his core that you're an evil, despicable person, he assumes that there must be something diabolical in your words, and that his job as a good person is to draw out the sinister meaning of your words so that he can throw it back in your face, forcing you to see what you really are, like Dorian Gray gazing at his own hideous portrait. So, which category is Cathy Newman in? Well, I don't think she's stupid, and I don't think she's deliberately misrepresenting Jordan Peterson. You may disagree. If you've got a case that she's misrepresenting Peterson's words because she's stupid or deceptive, feel free to make your case in the comments section. I think that the issues Peterson deals with are so emotionally charged for people like Newman, and that she despises him so much, she's simply incapable of understanding what he's saying.
Well, I made the argument there. It's like it depends on
So
who
you don't
defines
believe
it.
in equal pay?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Because a lot of people listening to you will just say, I mean, are we going back to the dark
That's
ages
because they're actually
here?
not listening. They're
I'm
just
listening very
projecting
carefully,
what
and
they
I'm
think.
hearing.
Now, the ideal situation for a group that wants to bring down a speaker is to have a mixture of people who are stupid, people who are deceptive, and people who are so thoroughly biased that they can't understand what the speaker is saying. The liars lie about what he's saying, the morons believe what the liars say, and the people whose emotions have overwhelmed their ability to think get whipped up into a frenzy. That's the recipe for silencing a speaker, or at least destroying his reputation, which brings us to the second lesson. Lesson number 2. If stupid or deceptive or frenzied people can't refute you, they have to silence you. Why are there so many people who are trying to silence Jordan Peterson, classifying anything he says as hate speech, flagging his videos, getting his speaking engagements canceled, shouting him down when he does speak? Wouldn't it be better to just refute what he says? Well, if you've watched his discussion with Cathy Newman, you know what happens when someone tries to refute his points. And think about this. Who, out of anyone in the world, who was in a better position to expose Jordan Peterson? Newman does this for a living. She's a professional attack dog interviewer. She's been getting ready for this for decades. She had his book and his lectures. There are tons of articles and videos criticizing him, plenty of material to put together a challenge to his claims. She was in her own studio. She had home field advantage. She got to pick the questions. And she's a woman. If you want to portray Peterson as a misogynist, you'd think that all you need to do is get a woman to come at him aggressively until he can't take it anymore, and he snaps and starts yelling at her. Game over. Guess which clip would be posted on every leftist news site every time Jordan Peterson is in the news? Champion of the patriarchy loses his mind when woke feminist challenges his misogyny. So Newman was the ideal person for the job of taking down Jordan Peterson, and she got annihilated. It wasn't even close. So if the ideal person for taking down Peterson failed in spectacular fashion, what's your next move? You have to focus on silencing him. How are you going to silence him? This brings us to lesson number 3. If people want to silence you, they have to paint themselves as the victims. And that's exactly what Channel 4 and its ideological allies did following the catastrophic interview with Jordan Peterson. We're told that Channel 4 is now consulting security experts to see what they can do to protect Cathy Newman from all the people who want to kill her because she was so mean to Peterson. Let's be serious for a moment. Does anyone, and I mean anyone, no matter how stupid at Channel 4, really think that some of Jordan Peterson's followers are plotting to assault or assassinate Cathy Newman, a woman who just gave Peterson one of the most epic victories in the history of YouTube? Of course they don't. So why are they pretending that Newman is in danger? Well, think about that toxic mixture of stupid, deceptive, and deluded people who want to silence Peterson. If their resting rage level is, let's say, an 8, but you can trick them into believing that Jordan Peterson, through his fans, is endangering the lives of feminists, that rage level can be brought up to a 10. The stupid people become even stupider. The deceptive people become even more deceptive. The people whose emotions override their reasoning ability become even more emotional. Put them all together, and you've got just the sort of group that gets things done on college campuses. Who needs the best argument when you've got the biggest mob of enraged leftists? There are lessons here for all of us because what happened in the Peterson interview is happening anywhere anyone is discussing an issue that's even remotely controversial. If you're on the wrong side of an issue, people are not going to hear what you say, no matter how clearly you say it. And if they can't refute what you're saying, they'll try to demonize or silence you. And if they can't do that yet, they'll paint themselves as the victims in order to stir up your critics, looking forward to the day when the mob will be big enough to veto not only what you say, but also your very right to say it. So, watch closely and you'll see this happen over and over again in 2018 and beyond. Wherever thoughtful people try to have meaningful discussions on important topics, the enemies of meaningful discussion will assemble. But since they only have 3 plays in their playbook, seems kind of easy to expose their methods, doesn't it?